Hello and welcome. My name is Stacy and this is Flying Free Fibers. Today I am working on a weave pattern called Clasped Weft. And that is usually done, it can be done in multiple colors. Today I am working with two. Now many times you will see a clasped weft weave done with highly contrasting colors. For this, I chose to do a slightly variegated in this berry color and a more variegated in my black. And I actually split my warp into two. That was the effect I was going for. If you're looking for a higher contrast, I would go with more of a solid black, and you could still do the variegated berry color. Now, as you can see in my black, there is some patches of white in the berry, so I'll get these longer running lines. So my diagonals are not, my little pyramids are not as crisp as you would with solid colors, but that was the look I was going for. So for today, I just wanted to share some things if this was a type of weave you wanted to try. I am working on my Kromsky Forte Rigid Heddle 24-inch. I am using a sport weight yarn from Sassy Black Fibers in a sport weight on a size 10 heddle. So what I am doing here, a few things with Clasped Weft is you can do this all in a solid, your warp in a solid, and then use your, you can use two contrasting colors. You can really do whatever you want as far as getting that to pop out. But what I'm going to show is I am actually using only one shuttle. So I have what I consider my working color. I'm right-handed, so my working color is on my right-hand side. And this is my contrasting color, is the berry. So I'm actually, if you can see that, I am working right off the ball. So I am taking this, running my shuttle through, running it underneath my contrast color. I'm going to pull this a little closer so you can see. And there's a couple things you want to watch for. One, you want to watch for your edges, your salvages, and you kind of want to, same as you do typically, is run that a little diagonal. But now I've gone underneath my contrast, and I'm going to put that back through, working around the camera. And I'm going to start pulling my contrast color in. Now, as I said, there's no rhyme or reason. It's whatever you choose, however you want to make your pyramids or pattern with your Clasped Weft. You pull that through to the part you want to do it. And the important part here is now, instead of, you usually have your diagonal. So I have both of my diagonals for both colors now. And their join point, and I have a V going up off of it. So that's going to flatten out my join, so I don't have big bumps in my weave. For this, now some people tend to beat with their sheds open, some people beat with them closed. For this, you're going to want to close your shed to keep everything in place. And then we're going to lightly beat. I'll put that back in the neutral. So as you can see, both of my edges did all right, but if you don't have that, you can always go back, reopen your shed, pull it over a little tighter. But the one thing is, sometimes you will get a little bump. As you can see here, there's a little bump in that. So all I'm going to do is very lightly pull on the sides and let that lay flat. Then we're going to switch my shed. I'm going to run my shuttle back through again, underneath my contrasting color. I'm going to get that through and in place. So I have that, that's pinched. I have my diagonal. Run it back through. Place that down. And now I can run it down here. I can run it way up. But it's running right off my ball, and I want to make sure that stays loose. So you can pinch that, put it wherever you like. I got my V's. I'm going to lift and close my shed and press that into place again. Put that back in neutral. I saw that got a little loose. I have a good salvage that my edges are well, and I'm just going to tug that. And what I did find is if you can put your join between two of your warp threads, it doesn't tend to pop out as much. So you just, and there's not a lot of space between these, but if you can get that to lay right between your warp threads, you'll have a flatter part. When you put it right on one, it tends to bump up or bump under, and you'll see it a bit more. And one more time, and this is a clasped weft. You can actually do a clasp warp, and maybe when I am working on one of those projects, I will share a video on that as well. So we're passing our shuttle through, working our salvage into place, and then I passed it under my contrasting yarn, pulling it back through, and now I have that, and I'm lightly pulling that through. Now that I have my V, I will close my shed and lightly beat. And there you have a clasped weft. So pick your colors. You can warp it up. You can start with a small scarf pattern, warp, and have fun with clasped weft. It is a very simple design that adds a lot of element to your weaving without a lot of warp work or weft work. It is a little bit slower than a plain weave, but it adds a nice element. Until next time, happy weaving!